Ping. Now this line coming through here is our fibre, so no risk of electrocution or anything on that. You can see that little bit of oxidation on what we've got out here. Now, keeping this membrane good, still pretty important, especially because you don't have that sort of cut off drip away detail down here. The membrane effectively is a cantilever. Now, good drainage and everything put in, but really stay on top of your membrane paint up here. Lever with arch support, so that's good. Let's just put that back while we do our thing out here. So again, as far as modern building code says, this probably won't pass because our handrail is going to be less than a metre, 900, and our gaps between balusters are more than 100. So there's a sphere test. There's also the requirements for these as we build them now. Now this will be permitted and consented as for when it was built. The requirements for when we do it now is that a sphere of 100 mils cannot pass through, and that there's no horizontal footholds that allow someone to step up and hence tip over potentially. I mean, it seems likely to me that most people that are going to buy this house are not likely to be buying it as a rental, as an own home, which means then simply be careful. If you've got kids that you know like to take risks, then maybe consider improving the outlook slightly. Alright, all hunky-dory, everything's working, that's all we want to see and know. Drawers, now this is built in, so again, bearing in mind that we sometimes find we just want to check they work. And that's working, that's working. Soft closes is cool. Cool, that's fantastic. And look at the door. See the little details like the trim. Yeah, I mean it's purely decorative, but it's quite cool to have. There's a doorstop there, hurrah. Smoke alarm, again it's an old one. We'll bring the ladder up shortly and poke nose up. Lights are doing what they're meant to. Floor, it's quite nice and level. And then, I suppose it's not too surprising that we're a little bit sticky on this face. This one's going to catch the absolute most sunlight. You can see that with that bit of condensation in the gap. I'd rather open that one. Like my chances of getting it closed a bit better. So what's happening here is you get heat swells and moves things just a little bit. Actually, I don't think I'm going to get that one open either, am I? So to get these opening isn't actually that hard. It's just you've got to be prepared to repaint when you do it. Because what's going to happen is you can take that off. You're going to check the hinges, make sure that they haven't got slop in them, because sometimes slop will cause this. That's your first port of call. Second port of call then, check the screws, make sure the screws are up tight. Third port of call is then to ease the edges of the window. And then, really important, repaint them. Most people just re-primer them, and then the paint breaks down because primer's not got that lustrous enamel. Now, enamel paint is used traditionally on windows simply because it slips better. It's got lower friction. So instead of balling the paint off and rubbing it, you open the window, which is kind of what you want to do. So we can see our aluminium facings on the glass on the conservatory. And generally speaking, it's fairly simple. It's likely to be fairly good. Now, there we go. So again, you can see the starts of some breakdown. Obviously your flashings and everything up here are, this is likely to be lead flashing. That's what's in though. I can also see our extractor, there's our gas. It's interesting they've got the vent stack like that. You don't have a spreader on your downpipe, but you don't technically need one. On an older house, if we put them in now, we do. Wasn't a done thing. The idea of a spreader is that you don't concentrate all of the water in one place, because, well, bluntly, there's a few things that happen. You get your water's always just a bit electrically charged when it comes down, and so you often find you get rust spots where your water comes through. This is what we're talking about. Now what I'm looking for here, and it's quite cool to not see, is borer, bluntly. Borer and moisture in cabinets. No signs of borer in that one. So, reasons why you do and don't get borer. Fundamentally, your timber is either heartwood or it's sapwood. If it's sapwood, it can be prone to borer damage. A slightly loose striker plate there. And that's largely just because the recess for it isn't there. So what we normally do when we change out hardware like this is bog everything back up. Now it takes way more effort than most guys want to put in, but you're supposed to bog it until it's flat and sand it and then re-notch, re-recess in. I did that already. Would I bother doing that there? It depends how frequently the room is used. If it was used frequently and a little bit of flex bugged me, then yes I would. That said, you put up with a lot of quirks when you know and live in a house. Okay. Now, hopefully we're not locked out. Something here. No, can't lock ourselves out that way. Go to the garage now. Alright. So again, handrails. Good, nice and tidy. And into our garage. Oops, daisy, out of there. Oh, they thought about that. Good-o. Wow. Oh, I'm a big fan of precast concrete. It's awesome. The reasons I like precast concrete is you get it right. It's basically a bomb shelter. It's a cynical way of saying it, but now wiring out here, you of course still have a lot of ceramic fuses. So it's not a shabby idea to consider replacing these old ceramics for modern MCBs like this one here. However, when we do it, ideally we should replace the ceramic bases as well. And the reason for that is you can pull this out and stick your fingers in there and get a nasty electric shock pretty easily. Now, old meter, and she's still in use, which is not actually a bad thing. You get this wonderful thing called mechanical resistance that builds up over time. So with one of these, you'll actually use ever so slightly less power than you will with a, come on brain, with a digital meter. Now, that's our supply cable. Neither of them are TRS, it's all TPS. Fantastic, it's good to be able to actually see it. And that's high enough that you're not too worried about people touching it. Right, step up, door, and of course a little bit of a wine cellar built in. I doubt they'll take that away with them. Insulation and subfloor. Now, ironically enough, you don't technically have to insulate the subfloor with a garage below. Certainly not with concrete, but they have, which is good. Assistant hardware manager. Alright, so again, this is a fairly good workshop really. Our concrete flooring, we don't have any evidence of major cracking. Okay, then I see some just because. Is it major? No, look, concrete, big spans of concrete are always going to crack, and that's just because expansion, contraction, and the fact that when you pour concrete, it dries much faster at the outer corners and edges than it does at the middle. Eventually, as it expands and contracts, and the metal in it expands and contracts at a slightly different rate, you get things like this. Now, the bolts on the floor over here tell me that once upon a time there was a safe fixed here, or that this is a sump. Yeah, I don't think I'm lifting that one by myself. Almost looks like they've... Yeah. Could be a water tank down and under here, wouldn't be unheard of. Again, aluminium joinery out here, and you're still concrete walls. I mean, there's not an awful lot that can go wrong with a well-built concrete building, except the odd concrete cancer, which so far we haven't seen any signs of whatsoever. Right. How we going?
Say someone's bloody
Got the remote. Pinching. Pinching stuff. No. Yeah. I just wander around and check what's working.
Your bloody camera, mate.
Pretty good, eh? You're famous for life now with anybody that wants to buy the house.
Right. Does it take a photo of every room?
Yeah, I just keep it videoing the whole time. I used to take photographs of everything, but you come back and you've got 200 photographs to try and worm through and figure out which belongs to which, and do it this way. It's just one video. If I need a photograph, I can take it from the video.
But how it's like this, and
Well, yeah, I mean, this is, you can still see if there's bore on the underside of the joist.
This is day one since we got it done.
Yeah, well, I mean, not too many people precast their concrete.
Before Alan.
Yeah.
Alan's my first cousin.
Ah, right.
And I've been in my house 46 years. I built it myself.
Yeah.
And that guy won Lotto, and that's the extension he's all put on this plus this.
Ah, right.
Outfit as well, yeah. So it's just been like that for probably 30 years.
Yeah, it's got the signs that they spent money on it.
That might have been done later, I think, because they didn't have that 30 years ago, that fiberglass. They had the old pink stuff, but not the green stuff.
Yeah.
So I'd say Alan's got someone to do that, which tidies it up too, and if they want to line it, they line it themselves anyway.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, it's a shed, there's no requirements.
It's a big bloody outfit for the two, isn't it? Someone's going to be pretty wealthy to buy it.
Yeah.
You won't get Joe Blogs.
No, it's always... it's almost certainly going to be an owner-occupier.
Yeah.
And it's almost certainly going to be...
I reckon they'll rent this one out.
Yeah, it's possible.
Well, Alan did.
Yeah, I suppose it depends if you like the privacy.